hookers. That was the undercover hooker, and this is about my life lessons that I've learned. Now, those of you who know me, I recently co-founded an iPhone development and strategy agency called Small Society, and I am a woman in tech. And my years as a hooker actually very much prepared me to be a tough woman in what is otherwise a gentleman's club. So that's why I'm here today to share with you the secrets that I've learned over the years. So, truth be told, I know that some of you have seen me at the Portland Advertising Federation Battle of the Bands wearing a short skirt and knee-high boots, but this is not actually the hooker that I'm here to talk about today. I know Andy's very sad about that, but I'm also going to relieve everyone who's going to think, oh, well, she's going to talk about crochet. Those of you who know me know that I love fiber arts. I love the yarn scene here in Portland, but I'm a knitter, not a crocheter, so not going to talk about that kind of hooking either. The kind of hooking that I'm going to talk about is actually my 4 years playing collegiate women's rugby. I was a hooker on the Lewis and Clark Mother Ruckers for several years. And this is a great sport. So those of you who don't know rugby, a hooker is in the very center of the scrum. So all the women come together and you're right in the middle. It is a fact that most women's rugby games not played topless, but I thought I'd include this just, because it's a little more akin to the title. So those of you who are looking at me, I'm 5 feet tall. I'm actually 5'3" today, maybe 5'4". I don't really look like a rugby player. And that's actually my greatest element of surprise. If you throw yourself at a 6 foot tall, 250-pound woman, you hit her around the knees, she is going to go down. And it's really that element of surprise that has helped me out. Also, I got 8 black eyes over the years. My husband lived through the assumptions that I could get these no other way than being beat the heck up. But again, element of surprise, if you appear to be something and you are other than that, then it pays well in the very end. So whatever you do, play it like you mean it and play it hard. So my years as a hooker have been very fulfilling, and I really actually miss them greatly. But I have to say that there are a couple things that are really important, and one of those is team. For example, if you're the hooker and you're in the center of the scrum, your team can either break your neck or win you the game. So playing well with your team is very important. So they get to see you when you're down on the ground bleeding. They get to see you at your worst when you're in various states of misdress. In fact, if you do well, you get to strip down in front of your teammates on the field as they dance around you. It's called a Zulu. It's very fun. They're also the ones who stick the tampon up your nose if you get kicked in the face and it's bleeding. This is how you stop a bloody nose, if you are ever wondering. So your teammates become very important, and they're the ones that push you the most when you're not sure you can go further, but they're also the ones who are going to be able to help stop you if you've come to a place in the game, whatever game it is, and you really don't need to be pushed any further. They're the ones who are going to carry you off the field and make sure that you're not going to hurt yourself further. So team is very important, as is knowing the game and your opponent. One of my favorite things about rugby is one particular rule. So if you've got the ball coming at you and you're brought to the ground because you're tackled, you need to release the ball to keep the ball in play to keep the game going. Now, the funny thing about this rule is oftentimes when you hit the ground, you kind of forget to release the ball. And when this happens, you're what's called as good as grass, which means people can kick you. It means that people can step on you. They can take their 1-inch metal spikes on the bottom of their cleats and rake you across your belly. So I want to not talk about being the girl on the ground, but the girl who runs up to the girl on the ground. At that point, you can choose to do any of those things or just pick up the ball and run. So I'm not here to say play nice. I'm not here to say play fair. Sometimes you don't need to play fair. But I want to tell you that you always have the ability to set the tone for the game. And this is a huge power that you need to use wisely. And if it was a rough game, we had a great tradition at Lewis and Clark of sitting in a hot shower with the cold beer and scrubbing the layers of Northwest mud off of our bodies. But sometimes you'd scrub and it would hurt and you'd be like, holy shit, that's not mud, that's a bruise. Knowing the difference between the two, something that's lasting and something that's not, becomes really important. So when you've reached that pinnacle, you've played the game, you've washed off the mud, it's really, really, really important to sing. There's a great tradition in rugby of singing, and you have to win that third half. The first half you try to win, the second half hopefully you do. Off the game, or once the game's over, you need to drink, you need to celebrate your accomplishments. If you screw up the singing, you actually have to drink beer out of rugby cleat. Really not fun. So win that third half. It's really important. Whatever you do, be it rugby, technology, running a family, whatever it is you do it well, own it, be really proud of yourself. That's what the rugby spirit's all about. It's my story of being a hooker.